Breaking news. We learned just moments ago 9 Americans were killed during the attack in Israel. Glad you're with us here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Iranpour. Here we have the very latest on the conflict for you. At this point, we know more than 700 people are reported dead in Israel. Over 550 are dead in Palestine. This comes after Hamas militants launched a surprise attack over the weekend. One of the targets, an Israeli techno music festival.
Israel has formally declared war on Hamas and is vowing harsh retaliation. Overnight, Israel's military said it has retaken control of all communities around the Gaza Strip. They also announced a total blockage on Gaza, cutting off food, water, and electricity. CBS's Naomi Ruckham has the latest.
The night sky over Gaza glowed orange as Israel launched more airstrikes overnight. Palestinians ran for cover after an earlier attack. Bulldozers cleared some of the rubble in Gaza. Israeli soldiers converged on the south, where Hamas says it took dozens of hostages. Frustrated family members of the missing are gathering at a center in Tel Aviv.
We don't know what's going on. No one's talking to us. We can't get in contact with anyone.
The U.S. is sending a carrier strike group to the region in support of Israel, which includes the Navy aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford.
The only things we've said to Israel are that we're here, we've got your back. We want to make sure that you have the support that you need.
Some GOP presidential candidates are criticizing the Biden administration's response.
There's a lack of leadership at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke to President Biden and the leaders of Germany, Ukraine, Italy, and Britain, who offered their support.
Now is not a time for equivocation, and I'm unequivocal. Hamas and the people who support Hamas are fully responsible for this appalling act of terror.
The permanent observer of Palestine to the United Nations called for an end to Israeli occupation.
It is time for an immediate end to the violence and the bloodshed.
Israel is already mourning its victims, including an Israeli policeman. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Right now, a few details have been released about those who've been taken captive, and a warning, the video you're about to see is disturbing. Hamas fighters abducted many Israelis over the weekend, violently dragging back captives into the Gaza Strip. Israel has encouraged families to go to a center to register details of loved ones and provide DNA samples. Then there's this viral video that's showing a young woman on the back of a motorcycle right here. She's in the middle right there, being driven away. She was abducted at a music festival in southern Israel near the Gaza border. Her father describes the moment he saw this video on social media.
You don't want to believe it, even though you can clearly see it's your daughter. She's a very special kid, so loving, so giving. I miss her so much. It's only been 2.5 days. I cannot believe she has gone, he says.
Hamas claims to be holding more than 100 hostages, including high-ranking army officers. Israeli authorities are only saying there are dozens of Israelis being held hostage.
And now, according to the Wall Street Journal, Iran's government helped Hamas plan the attack. Iran's president congratulated the militants for what he called a, quote, victory. This morning, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is denying claims that the $6 billion the U.S. paid for an Iran hostage deal helped fund the assault.
No U.S. Taxpayer dollars were involved. These were Iranian resources that Iran had accumulated from the sale of its oil that were stuck in a bank in South Korea. They have had from day one, under our law, under our sanctions, the right to use these monies for humanitarian purposes. They were moved from one account to another in another country to facilitate that use. As of now, not a single dollar has been spent from that account.
Now, the money was transferred back in September as part of that agreement to free 5 Americans who were imprisoned in Iran. Antony Blinken went on to say Iran can only use that money for food and medicine, referring to the humanitarian efforts, and that the U.S. Treasury Department is closely monitoring those funds. As Israel declares war against the militant group Hamas, people all across the U.S. showing their support for Israelis and for Palestinians.
Here in San Diego, people on both sides of the conflict are expressing their feelings. CBS 8's Regina Yarita is live outside the House of Israel in Balboa Park there with more on the demonstrations held over the weekend and what's also planned ahead for the week here. Regina.
Yeah, well, the conflict happening in the Middle East hits home for a lot of people, especially those with a connection to both areas. It's why we're seeing demonstrations happen across the nation, including here in San Diego. So yesterday evening, the San Diego chapter of Palestinian Youth Movement brought close to 100 pro-Palestinian supporters to a rally here in Balboa Park. We also noticed counter-protesters attend the rally to defend Israel. We got the chance to speak with both demonstrators who were at the event. Take a listen.
There has been a lot of clashes in Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. There has been a lot of, from the Israeli government as well. They've been going into our holy sites in the Al-Aqsa Mosque, in the church as well. It's not necessarily something that we can say that just started, on Saturday, on the 7th.
There are not many really things that are black and white in Israel, but this is one of them.
And that's the moment tensions flared up when both sides crossed paths during the rally. San Diego police officers spoke to the group organizing the rally and with the Israeli group Stand With Us, demanding that the groups remain peaceful. But a motorcyclist with a Palestine flag blew exhaust towards those carrying an Israeli flag. Police say no arrests were necessary. Pro-Palestinians called for recognition of the long-standing violence on both sides in the Middle East. They say they want Americans to know that this has been taking place for years, but pro-Israeli groups say it doesn't excuse what happened early Saturday morning when militants from Gaza entered Israel. With the death toll continuing to rise, vigils and demonstrations are being planned. So the Israeli American Council is planning its own pro-Israeli rally that is set to take place Tuesday night at the Jacobs Family campus in La Jolla. Now back here live, we're also noticing that the Jewish Community Center is going to have a vigil for the Israelis lost in the attack, and we'll have more information on CBS8.com. Just click on this story. For now, live in Balboa Park, I'm Regina Yarita, CBS 8.
All right, Regina, thank you. Appreciate that. We'll see you again shortly. San Diego's Jewish community is mourning the loss of life in Israel and in Shar HaNegev, San Diego's sister city. Its mayor, Ophir Liebstein, was killed in Saturday's attack. San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria, who visited the region earlier this year and met with Mayor Liebstein, expressed his condolences. He said, quote, Ophir was a friend and the news of his death is absolutely heartbreaking. In another statement, Gloria wrote that San Diego stands with the people of Israel in the wake of the attacks and condemns Hamas in the strongest possible terms.
This morning, the San Diego County Office of Education is providing resources to educators so they can help students navigate through the Israel-Hamas conflict. It has a list of links on its website meant to create a classroom environment that supports civil discourse. The Office of Education here saying it's important students navigate through these issues and any emotions they may invoke in a safe, healthy way. You can go to their website, access those many resources. They're at sdcoe.net. We'll be sure to follow the conflict in the Middle East and include reaction here at home for you. You can stay caught up online on our website, cbs8.com, and be sure you download the free CBS 8 app.
This morning, more than 2,000 people are dead after a 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit western Afghanistan. This happened on Saturday. Multiple aftershocks involved with this, too. Another 2,000 people were hurt. The strong force caused mud walls and ceilings to crumble, trapping families inside. Crews are still rescuing people. People are even digging with their bare hands to pull victims out. San Diegans are raising money to help here. The Afghan Community Culture Center in El Cajon has started a GoFundMe for victims of the earthquake. They raised $500 so far. We have a link under the help button at cbs8.com. And this morning, San Diego gas prices finally coming back under $6. It's about time, right? Today's average price, $5.97. It's about 26 cents less than a week ago, but they could be going back up due to this conflict in the Middle East we've been telling you about. Oil prices jumped more than 2% in the wake of the attack on Israel. The good news is experts say the increase likely won't last long.
And now here we are at 6:10, waiting for that sun to come up. Sunrise is at 6:48 this morning. So our east-facing cameras not showing the fog, but west of the mountains. Here you go. Well, you're seeing plenty of it in El Cajon. Hard to see, actually, in many of these inland valleys. Otay Mesa heads up to your visibility down to 1/3 of a mile. Fallbrook down to a half-mile. El Cajon, half-mile. Miramar and Kearny Mesa may also be some trouble spots here, but overall, the marine layer is in effect, and it's sitting kind of low along our inland locations, not so much along the coast. It's a little higher at our beaches this morning. We are feeling that sea breeze, of course, the beaches, but even beyond that. So overall, we're getting this west to east flow. That's the onshore flow that we talk about, complete opposite from the Santa Anas, and it keeps us cool. So that's what you're going to get to see this week. No more to that hot weather we just had. 66 degrees for downtown San Diego right now under those cloudy skies. This afternoon, 75 downtown, same with Coronado, 78 in National City. We'll see that sunshine today. I know right now it doesn't look like it, but it will get here. Mid-80s for Santee, El Cajon. I know it's still warm for you there, but overall, we're starting our cool down. It's going to be pretty gradual. Each day, lose a couple more degrees, especially inland. Along the coastline, you'll likely stay in the low 70s pretty much all week long, even into the weekend. We're going to notice Tuesday, Wednesday, these temperatures in the mountains and deserts cooling down even more. If you do want to go to the mountains today, sunshine, low 80s. That's for Potato Chip Rock. Here's what's coming, though. This ridge of high pressure moving to the east, which will allow for that cooler weather to come on through. Don't expect rain to hit San Diego. We're seeing most of that there in the Pacific Northwest. I'll let you know how long the cool down will last and how cool we're going to be in most communities coming up in just a few minutes. Then now a quick check of traffic. We do want to show you what's going on at our border. A look at the border wait times from Customs and Border Protection. It's 85 minutes for the general line at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, and it will take 75 minutes for the general line at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry.
All right, still ahead here, from insulin to magic mushrooms, the bills the governor just vetoed. Plus, West Maui reopening after the deadly wildfires. But residents are still conflicted about tourism. And the cancer survivor raising awareness about risks related to breast tissue density.